Intervention. Meaning: it is the dictatorial interference by state in affairs of another state for maintaining or altering actual conditions of things. So here, one state try to dictate another on doing something or not to do something. So this is intervention. So Article 22, Clause 4 of UN Charter specifies about non-intervention by states. So it says that the state should not use threat, force against another state, or not do any act which is inconsistent with the purpose of UN. So the state should not intervene in another state. Article 2, Clause 4 of UN Charter says that. Exceptions or grounds of intervention: when a state can intervene in another state affairs. So there are certain exceptions. First is self-defense. If a state is trying to defend itself, so in the self-defense, a state can intervene in the affairs of another state. Case law. Caroline case. So in this case, so it is the time when Canada was ruled by Britain. So Canada was under the rulership of Britain. So they revolted against Britain for independence. So America, what they did was they sent a ship to help Canada with the arms and men. So Britain, it destroyed that American ship in American territory and claimed that it was for self-defense. But the judge, Mr. Webster, held that it was not by self-defense, because self-defense should be only exercised only if there is no choice. Then self-defense should be exercised. The next is on humanitarian grounds. So UN can interfere as it is a matter of maintaining international peace and security. So on humanitarian ground, it falls under the matter of maintaining international peace and security. So United Nations UN can enter into it, intervene. The next is to enforce treaty rights. So UN Charter does not permit enforcing forceful treaties. So intervention is not allowed here. The next is intervention to prevent illegal intervention. So this is also not permissible. The next is a balance of power. Just because you want to balance power, you cannot intervene into another country, state. The next is for protection of persons and property. This is also not permissible. The next, collective intervention. So if there is a threat to international peace and security, then collectively states can intervene. This is specified in Chapter 7 of UN Charter. They should first not use force. They should use peaceful method and try to understand the state. And then if the state is not refusing to accept, then they have to use force. It is called collective intervention. The next is intervention to maintain international law. This is also not permissible. The next is intervention in civil wars. So Article 39 of UN Charter specifies about this. So if there is a threat to peace, breach of peace, or amounts to aggression, then UN can intervene during civil wars of another state. The example is intervention in Iraq on behalf of Kurdish people. The next question concept is Monroe Doctrine. So it is asked for short note, Monroe Doctrine. So what is this Monroe Doctrine? It was propounded by President Monroe of United States of America. So President Monroe proposed this. Was the reaction to Napoleon entering treaty with European states. In America, all previous colonies of Spain became independent. So America had certain colonies of Spain, and these colonies became independent. So the Europeans wanted to re-establish these colonies in America and help Spain. But the president of USA accepted their offer, and he said that he will accept those colonies. But he declared this a Monroe Doctrine in 1823. So he made certain conditions in this for accepting those colonies. He says that states of America cannot be colonized in future. So these states should not colonize in future, and America will not interfere in mutual wars of European states. And similarly, Europeans should not interfere in the internal affairs of American continent. And if Europeans try to interfere, it will be considered as unfriendly. So this is Monroe Doctrine. The next concept is state territory. So what are the modes of acquiring a state territory? The first mode of acquiring state territory is occupation. Occupation is an act of sovereignty where state intentionally acquires sovereignty over another state as it was not under it. So, what happens in this is the territory is already part of the state, but the state has not declared sovereignty over it. So, in occupation, it declares sovereignty over its already existing territory. Essentials for occupation is there should be a position and there should be an administration. The next is prescription. So, if a state is exercising control over a territory and it has established occupation on it for a long time, then it can claim it through prescription. The next mode of acquiring territory is accretion. In this, new territory is added due to natural cause or artificial land. So, due to an earthquake or anything for natural cause, if a territory joins the state, then it can claim it through accretion. Or if creates artificial land by humans, then it is also a mode of acquiring of territory through accretion. The next is cession. Cession. Cession is acquired by successful war. A territory is acquired by successful war in succession. Cession. The next is annexation. Annexation is acquiring a territory by force, conquering it. But at present time, this is not allowed. Conquering a state is not allowed in present time. The next is lease. A state can give its territory to another state on lease, but complete sovereignty is not transferred. The state keeps its sovereignty. Pledge. The state gives territory for money. It sells it. The next is plebiscite. Plebiscite. In this, the inhabitants themselves choose to stay in that state. Example is Kashmir in this. The next is mode of loss of territory by state. How a state loses its territory. One is through cession. So when a successful war happens, then the state loses its territory through cession. The next is operation of nature. By nature a territory gets separated. The next is by subjugation. If it is the opposite of annexation, when a state conquers a territory through annexation, then that state loses the territory through subjugation. The next is a prescription. So if acquired for a long period of time, then it can be taken by different state. The next is a revolt. Through revolution, revolt or rebel, a state loses its territory. The next is a dereliction. It is nothing but a renunciation or slacking of the territory. The state just gives up the territory. The next is the granting of independence to a colony by imperialist state. If there is certain colony in a state, then the state gives them independence. So this concludes second unit.